Well, good morning, good afternoon. You are tuning in to Tisha Talks Live. Happy last day of the month. We made it to May 31st. I cannot believe it. I don't know about you, but I feel like this year is seriously flying by. You? Yeah. So if you were tuning into this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, welcome. Great to have you here. If you are a newbie to the Tisha Talks Live show, I do this every Friday, although this happens to be my very last show since we're entering into the summer months. So it will resume back in fall. And I have a special treat for you. I have Xhoni Mimillari coming all the way from Italy. And he's going to be talking about learning the psychology behind LinkedIn. So before we get started, a couple of quick announcements. Special shout out to this group right here. This is Social Life. They're an app here in Arizona for all those fun things that you love to do. You can download their app on Google Play and also the App Store to find all the community events happening around you to fill up that social calendar. And of course, Connecting Through Community is an event that I host every other month in conjunction with my Social Connect Simplified Happy Hour that I just hosted. Thanks to everybody who came out on Wednesday and helped just ring in the summer with me. Such a great time, good vibes, good people. And Connecting Through Community, first event coming up in August on the 17th, teaming up with Ascend. They are a food bank here in Chandler, so I'll be putting some details out there if you want to connect, grow your network, and do something really good for the community. All right, before we get started, a little dance party, and then I see those comments. I see those people come in. And hey, everybody on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, great to see you. Happy Friday. We're going to go ahead and play a little dance video, and I will be right back with our special guest. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that little dance video to kick off your Friday. I see the comments already blowing up. So let's go with the show on the road. Introducing you to Xhoni. He is joining me from Italy, and Xhoni Mimillari with Mimillari Consulting. Welcome to the stage, my friend. Good to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved the video, by the way. Oh,
yes. Shout out to Sven, who is in South Africa. And Xhoni actually referred me to Sven. So I work with him all the time, editing videos. So if you are looking for a speaker reel, an intro video, or even videos for your LinkedIn or your social media, then Sven, shout out to Sven, is the guy to go to. All right, let's bring in the comments, because I see lots of people blowing up the line right now. And I want to see who is joining us here. And again, if you're tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, even on Xhoni's LinkedIn, please don't be shy. Say hello and tell us what questions you have all about LinkedIn. Good stuff? Good stuff. All right.
Please bring the questions.
Yes. All right. So before we begin, let's say hello to some folks who are tuning in live. Yay. Royce Blake, Tisha Time has begun. So good to see you. Yolanda joining us from Texas. Happy Friday. Nat joining us off of YouTube. Hi, Tisha. Happy Friday. Yay. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's do this thing. So excited. So today, again, we're talking about the psychology behind LinkedIn. And just so you guys know, little disclaimer, I was just so impressed by Xhoni and all of the things he does on LinkedIn and how he's grown his network and how he consistently brings in leads for his business that I'm like, I'm going to hire you. So I've actually worked with Xhoni a couple of years ago. Was it, Xhoni? Or maybe was it last year? I'm trying to remember. I feel like days just goes by so fast.
Yeah. 2 years and a half ago, I think.
Yeah, year and a half ago, referred some friends. Hey, shout out to Kim if she's watching. Kim, who got me the Wonder Woman mug. She also worked with Xhoni. And we just learned some really great stuff that I still use to this day. And yeah, so Xhoni, let's get started. I would love to know, was LinkedIn always a platform that you wanted to be on, or were you like, what is this thing? I should probably jump on this and see what it's all about.
Yeah, good question. I was actually on Facebook back then before I made the transition to LinkedIn. I was into video back then. I loved video content. I was doing a lot of video content. Then I think early 2000, late 2018, I came across LinkedIn and I just saw the opportunity that it could have in terms of being able to build a brand, demonstrate expertise, and stuff like that. So it's been about 6 years and a half when I decided to just do that. I'm a big fan of just doing one thing, doing it very well till successful. I just don't. I hate the idea of doing seven things at the same time. There are people who can do it. I respect the hell out of them. But I'm like my strength is I want to do something so well that it's very hard or unreasonable to suck at it. So yeah, I thought to get into it. I loved the platform right away. It was I just loved it because of all the tools that he had to find clients, build relationship. I think it was at that time Facebook was a little bit too noisy. I
Mm-hmm.
thought LinkedIn was more community based, and it transformed with the time a little bit more into that direction. So yeah, once I transitioned, it was on LinkedIn, and it's almost 7 years. Damn, time goes fast. Yeah, crazy.
What did
Mm,
I just say? It's already May 31st. I cannot believe it. Like already almost halfway through the year.
yeah,
Craziness.
yeah.
Craziness. All right. Well, she is here. So let's say hi to Kim. Hey, Kim. She says, hey,
My
you
friend,
two.
good to
Good to
see you,
see you. Hey,
Kim.
Kim. Kim, got your mug. Thanks again for the Wonder Woman mug. I love it. I
She's
love it.
awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I really I think I've shared this with you too, Johnny, that I have a very big love-hate relationship with social. Although people
Yeah.
endorse me for social, it's not my favorite place, but I love the outcome. I love that it can do this. Like you're in Italy and I'm in Arizona and we're having this great conversation and we met through LinkedIn. And same, like I'm not a
Mhm.
big Facebook fan and I looked at that as like LinkedIn there's an opportunity, but I think a lot of people still have that stigma that LinkedIn is really just for resume and career building. And they don't realize how many people are actually building their brand there, getting noticed, getting clients, building their business on that platform.
Insane. I feel people underestimate, Tisha, the type of people that you can meet and the rooms that you can get access to. It's
Hmm.
insane once you build a brand because the thing about building the brand, which you're, way better than me on this, is that people come to you already trusting that you can help them.
Hmm.
And that trust often, I think it's more important than ever to build it in the first place. But if you understand what state of mind people need to be in to get in touch and want to work with you or want to do business with you, first they've got to believe that you know what you're doing. Number
Right.
one. They've got to believe that they can do it in case they decide to buy your product. And they've got to believe that the product works pretty much. Like if the internal confidence that these things can happen for them has a huge impact on whether they end up making that, sending a DM or not. Now, I think the skill is how long does it take for somebody to go from stranger. So I trust this person. I would like to work with him or with her. A lot of
Hmm.
people are not very strategic with their brands. So it might take 1 or 2 years to go from stranger to client. How can you position your brand so that it happens fast, which is probably the most challenging part? Hmm.
Hmm. Would you say that that's one of the biggest mistakes that you see people making on LinkedIn? Is there, well,
Hmm.
they're posting content, but
Yeah,
perhaps it's not the right content and it's not speeding up the process to establish, build that trust, see you as a credible expert to then
yeah,
want to turn around, DM you and say, I want to work with you. I see you. You're awesome. Let's go.
100%. I feel like lack of congruency is one, Tisha, is like if you follow, because like in the past, for somebody to become a client, it was about a few weeks of consuming content, making their research, reaching out. Now that time has gone a little bit, it's a little bit longer. Like
Mm-hmm.
the buying decision or the journey that somebody goes through to make a purchase decision is a little bit longer because of all the options that they have now available. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
not able to grab that attention and quickly demonstrate what makes you different, what makes you unique, I don't think you have another shot, right? Because there's so much noise nowadays. But once you grab that attention and you can easily demonstrate, this is what I do, this is what makes me different. I feel like the biggest mistake people have not a clear message. Right? If I have to burn brain calories to understand what you do, you lost me. Like I'm gone. Like I'm not gonna stay there for 2 minutes trying to understand what you freaking do. Like it's got to be quick, it's got to be compelling, but it's got to be clear. And a lot of people get lost in this compellingness type of thing that when you read their message, you have no clue what they're doing. Well, like, what do you do? You know, and how can you help me? If you cannot answer those questions right away, when people land in your profile, when people interact with your brand, it's going to be tough to stand out because a lot of people in your field actually have that figured out. And again, if you don't stand out, it's tough. You know, it's a big mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be so concise. I'm laughing because you just said, like, if they have to waste brain power to figure out what you do, then they're over it. They're done.
Yeah.
They don't need to make that call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to throw this comment up here from Nat. He says they've also done a lot more research themselves before they purchase these days.
100%. 100%. I feel like people have unspoken questions that have got to be answered with your content for them to feel like you can help them. And those unspoken questions can be like, can you help me get what I want? How likely am I to get what I want? What makes you different? If you don't answer those with your content, then people are still going to be on the fence in terms of, should I reach out? Can I trust this person? So you've got to be aware of, all right, I'm going to talk about a subject. I'm going to try to demonstrate expertise. I'm going to try to provide value, whatever that means, right? But in the meantime, you want to answer these questions. You want to be able to address the main concerns that people have. Because if you don't, then you don't demonstrate that you understand them. People need to feel understood by you. Like they've got to consume your content and feel like this person gets me. And often when that happens, subconsciously people feel like you have the solution to their problem, right? Especially if you touch on those emotions in relation to the frustrations that they're feeling, they can be like, oh, this person gets me. If they get me, probably they might be able to help me. The problem, going back to my point, is that it takes a little bit long for a few brands to build or to demonstrate those things. And because you don't have a shot like you used to have maybe 4 years ago, you don't get a second or a third shot because there is so much noise, so many options. People like to make decisions not only based on the level of certainty that they have that a product can help them, but the level of trust they have right away with a brand. But yeah, good point. Good point about the fact that they've done a lot of research. So meet them also where they are. Another thing that I will add, teacher, is meet your ideal clients where they are. Like join that conversation going on in their mind. Talking about psychology, I think that's one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah, I agree with that because, we learn a lot about sales and how what you're trying to do is really paint the picture, the outcome of what they're going to achieve once they start working with you. Yeah.
Oh, such a big fan of that one. For a couple of reasons why in psychology that it's huge, because if somebody can visualize or have a clear picture of where you can help them get, all of a sudden it's more believable that it can happen. Believability is so underrated nowadays because a lot of people focus on these huge claims, right? They try to compete on who can craft the most compelling message. But what is even more important nowadays is how believable it is. Like if people read your marketing message and they go, that's cute, but I don't know if I can do it. I think you lost them. But if the message is kind of compelling, it's in the middle, but prospects go, oh, I can do that. I think it can happen. It's doable. Then believability has a different level of weight in terms of driving a purchase decision versus the compellingness of it. And I see this mistake all the time. People trying to make these huge claims. Compellingness wise, that's good. But people end up feeling like, yeah, sure. Of course you can do that.
Yeah. I want to put this comment up here too from Kim. Oh, content, my favorite. She's laughing. Yeah. So, okay. So I have a question. Let's talk about content for a little bit because I think I hear two schools of thought here. You should be posting every single day, 3 times a day. You should be hammering your message. You'd be doing all these stuff. What would you say is a good balance of being able to talk about and serve others through your content, adding that value, let's say, and then just talking about you, Xhoni, who you are? Like, I love the message that you share. And you said this even in the green room. One of your biggest accomplishments was being able to buy your mom a house and retire your parents, which is very commendable. But what would you say? Like, should you be always pushing your product, your service?
Great question. In terms of posting, I feel like there is no right and wrong. There is what works for you.
Mhm.
I'm not a big fan of posting for the sake of it, which means like if you don't have something good to post, take a break, take some coffee, go for a walk. It's okay, right? But if you have something great to post all the time, go for it. Like people, when I talk about don't post every day, they think that I'm against posting every day. I'm like, if you have something good to post, go twice a day. Freaking go beast mode. I'm not against that. I'm against people who try to stay consistent because they think that's the way to do it. And what happens very often, Tisha, is that they post average content. Viewers come across that piece of content or pieces of content, they find it average. And you lose attention retention, which is a fancy way of saying people don't come back to your content and consume it again because they felt like they wasted a little bit their time the previous time, right? So if your content is always so good that when people see your name, they've got to stop scrolling and be like, I've got to check out Tisha's content because it's so good all the time. That's the most profitable thing that you can do for your brand. That's the smartest thing that you can do, in my opinion, because people always come back. And those returning viewers is what keeps engagement high, is what keeps people want to consume your content, be around your brand, tell others about your product. Like I've had people that have never worked with me tell others, hey, you should work with Xhoni because I know you're in good hands. Actually got some this year probably 3 clients just on that. Like I didn't even know some of these people were in my network. They just said to somebody, work with him. I'm like, whoa, what's happening right here,
Mhm.
right? But your content has got to be so good that people want to tell others about it. I feel like that's the byproduct of doing it the right way, Tisha, is that people want to
Mhm.
tell others about your brand. I think that's when you've cracked the code. But in terms of posting, your other questions about pushing your product. I'm a big fan of indirect selling. You probably know that. Yeah, it's not a
Mhm.
surprise. But it's basically a fancy way of telling people how you can help them without even telling them, right? Instead of saying, I can help you win clients on LinkedIn. Instead, I can say, if you're looking to get clients on LinkedIn, here's something that works very well.
Mhm.
Different approach, right? Something, the first message feels a little bit,
Sleazy. If you're
yeah,
looking to get clients, I'm the right person for you.
yeah, that's a little bit too odd.
A
Huh?
little much. I will say this, Johnny. I checked out your profile earlier, and
Hmm.
I really like the header. And I think that that is such a space that not a lot of people utilize the right way. Like they have a picture of themselves or they have a picture of a sunset. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's like LinkedIn banner. Like that's your prime real estate. What you have on there, and even in your headline, the last LinkedIn coach you'll ever need. That's
Hmm.
it's bold. It's a bold statement. And I mean, just like you were saying earlier, if people go to your profile and they're like, I still don't understand what this person does,
Yeah.
that you've lost your shot. I want to go ahead and throw this up here, and Francois is joining us off of your LinkedIn
Oh,
profile that says,
that's
let's not underestimate the power of humor. With the amount of seriousness in this world, distinguishing yourself with humor and joy is a huge asset to attract people towards you and your work. Go Johnny. Yes. If I can do a little shameless plug, I think I just get messages in my inbox about A, you have $1 billion smile, B, you're always so joyous, 3, have such a positive attitude, I always see you having fun, like you just have a very balanced life. And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, that's exactly what I want you to take away. Like I don't post shit content that makes you sad. It's just not me. I'm not going to bring you down. I'm just, that's not me.
That's the freaking point of it, like to have fun and to let your personality shine through your content. Like,
Mhm.
I hate people who bring a lot of drama into their content strategy because they and they're doing from a psychological point of view. They're trying
Mhm.
to leverage like that because we are attracted to drama. We are attracted to what is happening that can be negative or that can expose somebody. So I see a lot of people actually trying to bring that into their content or even bashing other industries, bashing other people. And I'm like, I'm not going to swear, but it's kind of not cool, right? Um,
This is
but
an adult show. You have full permission.
okay, good. Talking about humor. There you go. But I feel like Francois, that's the name. I'm going to pronounce it in French.
Yeah.
But anyways, she has a good point in actually letting your personality come across through your posts, so people feel like they already know you. So underestimated, like people feel like they already know you. If people see your content and are like, I don't know who is behind this. Like I get this weird vibe that this person is not preaching what they're saying. There is a little bit of, incongruency, if that's even a word. But people can see that over the time. Like a lot of people treat their audience like dummies. And I'm like, first of all, you're in the wrong business if you're even doing that. Like
Mhm.
when I post my content, first of all, I have deep respect for the people on the other side. Number one, I genuinely want them to do well. That's something that you cannot fake. If you try to fake that, good luck. But you actually need to believe also in your audience. And once you have these things in place, then you try to make it easier for them to consume your content. If that's adding a little bit of humor, that's good. If that's maybe making it a little bit more engaging in your own way, that's fantastic as well. But I feel like making it easier for people to consume your content is a good idea, because if they feel bored or every time they see your content, they're like, shit, I'd rather watch a movie. And fair enough, of course. But great point. I think humor, it's great. But whatever it is about your personality that will make people feel like this person is cool, I will hang out with this person. Again, I feel like I already know them. Great idea. That's part of the person. It's called personal for a reason, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
It is. All right. I have a question, and I want to throw some other comments up here. Nat saying, great headline. Kim, you are the real deal.
Thank you.
And Nat, yeah. Thank you guys for the comments. Okay. So I want to know your honest opinion on this, because
Mm.
I'm toying with the idea of do I or don't I? I noticed you don't.
Yeah.
And maybe some others here are questioning that same thing. But I'm starting to see people who write this content, and at the end, they have their bio. They have like a mini bio, bullet points. Hi, I'm Tisha. This is what I
Mm.
do. You should DM me. You should ring my bell. You should blah blah. Like there's all these calls to action. You should reach out to me if you need branding, if you need marketing. Like, I'm just curious if you feel like that's a smart move, or if you're just like always in that person's face.
Uh, I think it's smart if it doesn't feel like a CTA. If it's too heavy into explaining what you do, what your offer is about, but if it's very low pressure, and I feel like the person is just letting me know what they're doing, what they're up to, I like it. I think it's
Yeah.
very smart. But there is a fine line where then it feels like you are always telling them about your offer, what you can do for them, and maybe over a specific period of time, it can become a little bit, you know, too big. But I've seen some people do it the wrong way, some people do it the right way. I don't do it, maybe because I'm too lazy.
It's like another piece you have to copy and paste, because you're not going to write all that every single time you post
Could
something.
be that. Could be that one. I don't know. I just doesn't feel. I I think it has to come natural, right? I don't think it will represent maybe my, I don't know, my values or my point of view or how I approach marketing if I did it that way. Maybe my mind changes, but it depends. If you do it the right way, it's not a bad idea. If you do it in a way that feels saucy, I think no bueno. Yeah.
No bueno.
What do you think?
I don't know. I've seen it on a couple of people's posts,
Yeah.
and Andrea Koppel is one who I've seen it, and she actually, it's pretty tasteful. It's
Mm.
not totally in your face. It's not like, hire me now. Like she just kind of lightly says, hey, this is what I love to do. If you know someone, reach out, like, or whatever she has it. It's very bulleted. It's not paragraphs. It's very
Yeah.
much line items and such. But I mean, I like it because how many people do you get that are really second, third generation that are liking your posts that are like, I don't really know this person. And maybe it encourages them to check out your profile. And
Yeah.
then if you're looking at who's viewing your profile, you can go ahead and reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you on my profile. I'd love to connect with you. I do that. I do that little stalker thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the platform has evolved over the past few years, and I feel like once somebody does something, a lot of people keep doing, like they start approaching the same way things. And I'm a big fan of observing and learning from other people. Like you can learn so much if you just observe how some people do it, because it's like some people just can reveal everything they're doing based on their content and how they're approaching the platform.
Hmm.
But what is the end goal? The end goal, I think, is to stand out.
Right.
And if you do more things that everybody else is doing, then you've got to be kind of hyper aware of how that it's affecting your brand, or maybe how that it's affecting how other people are viewing your product and what you can do for them.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, interesting one. I think some people just do it right, some people do it wrong, like a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have more content or comments coming up. I want to go ahead and read over these. Roy's saying personality is crucial, especially in the AI world. Yes. If you're boring, people have already moved on. Humor is one way to stand out because a lot of people post about this. Oh, Yolanda, we could talk about that for days. I can't
Yeah.
tell you how many times I scroll and I'm like, that's regurgitated, that's regurgitated. It's the same message over and over again. Um, Nat, I don't think he's a big fan of that bio thing because he writes no. And
Which
then
one?
here, the one about just putting your bio at the end, and he says, I feel like a bio at the end reeks of desperation. It really depends if it's appropriate, authentic, and it's all in how you do it.
I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. It's all about how you do it. There is tonality in copy. Like a lot of people don't get it. Like when you say something with a message, there is something else that you're communicating at the same time. And people's subconscious mind can pick that up. Right? Like, and it's called effective truth. Like you're saying something and at the same time another message is being sent to the listener. A lot of people are not aware how a specific approach or a way to word something is communicating something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? And often that's like the lack of awareness. And I see a lot of marketers who claim to be experts, and I'm like, you have no clue what you're doing because I can clearly see the mistakes that you're making. Like that's the thing about today's environment. If you cannot easily demonstrate how good you are, like go and work on your product, get better at your craft,
Yep.
like develop skills, because people buy from highly skilled individuals nowadays, like more than ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
fake it till you make it, arrivederci, doesn't work anymore, right? So your ability to demonstrate very quickly what you can do for somebody and how good you are, that's the thing. People should experience your skill, right? If I ask you, tell me more about your product and how it works and what it can do for me, people should be able to experience that, especially if you do something like I do, or maybe like
Yeah.
something Alicia does, or maybe whether it's a communication program and you want to demonstrate how good communication skills. Like I'm working with a client right now, she's a big influencer on the platform,
Mm-hmm.
and she helps other people with communication. Like she's able to demonstrate that in her videos. Like a lot of people that became clients lately, she's crushing it, by the way. Like a lot of people reach out and are like, I want to speak like you. I want to be able to present myself like yourself. I'm like, that's the point, right? I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people who say I can help you with that, and I'm like, you don't even know how to do it. Like, come on, right? So I mean, yeah, I can go on a long rant there, Tisha, but I think the ability to, that's why I think being skilled nowadays is the most important one. Like you don't stand out with marketing. That's the other thing. You stand out with a great product that reflects into your marketing. Period. A lot of people are trying to compete on how can I create the best hook, or how can I create the best call to action, or how can I create the best
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? Tagline. Put whatever you want in there. But how can I create a product so good that if I can create a piece of content, people can see that. People
Mm-hmm.
can see how good I am. Um, Underrated hack. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a hack for you, everybody. Okay, a couple more comments coming in, some more guests. Thanks for being here.
My friend.
Thierry saying, so refreshing to hear versus LinkedIn guru only talking about pleasing the algorithm. Oh, yes. Thank you so much.
The
I
algorithm.
I see a lot of that. 10 hacks to beat the algorithm. All the things. Yeah,
Can
that
I
to me, I'm just
simplify?
like,
Sorry, Tisha. Can I simplify things for people when it comes to the algorithm?
yeah, please do.
Think of, think of the algorithm as the people. It's not the algorithm, it's the freaking people. Like, a lot of people complain about the algorithm. I'm like, the algorithm optimizes to keep people in the platform for longer. Like, it's not the algorithm. Maybe your content isn't that good. It's tough sometimes to admit that. And of course, the algorithm can be messy sometimes. The things might not work very well, but it's a people, like it's human behavior. And we talk about psychology a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about the goal of the algorithm is to optimize the content to be shown to the right people so the users can stay longer in the platform.
Mm-hmm.
The longer somebody stays in the platform, the more likely people are going to buy ads from LinkedIn, because advertisers, people who advertise, are like, I want to advertise on the platform because there are a lot of people that are spending a lot of time there, and there might be my ideal client, right? So LinkedIn is trying to create a platform or an environment that optimizes itself to keep users in there for longer. If your content is not designed to grab attention, keep attention, so the people consume the freaking thing that you created,
Mm-hmm.
then the algorithm is going to be like, you're not keeping people in the platform. So let's just not show more. Let's not
Yeah,
show more
we're not going
people.
to show your stuff anymore.
So anytime somebody says, here's how to hack the algorithm, I'll be a little bit like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like, here's how to post content that people want to consume. I like that hack a little bit more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of cringe at that whole guru thing. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
moving along, moving along. All right, so many other great content. I say content, comments, but it's content too. Comments are content. Should their content encourage you to check out their profile? Yes, Ingor, who's joining us. Happy Friday, Tisha and Johnny. Good to see you. And okay, Kim, you said I agree with the bio at the end on every single post. All right, good. Okay. I'm gonna have to check yours out. See if you have that, just kind of mimic what you're doing there. Cause I'd love to see how that changes things. And she's saying, oh, fake it till you make it. No. What'd you say? Arrivederci.
I love it.
We are not faking it till we make it.
Make it till you make it. Yeah.
Yeah, make it till you make it. Yes. And Ingor's saying, oh my gosh, Tisha, I have the same mug. So, Ingor, this is a gift from Kim, who's also in the feed right now out of Michigan, who is also a client of Johnny's before. So, it's like 6 degrees of separation going on right now in the comments. All right. Well, Johnny, I wish we could talk for hours and hours and hours. And
Mm.
I just want to thank you for your time. This has been so good with all the information you've shared with all of us today. And I want to give you time for a little shameless plug. Tell us what you're working on and how people can find
Um,
you. And of course, on LinkedIn. So I'm going to have to just throw that link in right now.
Thank you so much for having me. This went really fast. Jeez.
Right? I know. It's quick.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I hate being boring in this part, but I do one thing really. So I do consulting, but I'm going to transition to creating like a community in the near future where it's
Mhm.
more like marketing psychology and stuff. So I'm working on it, and it's going to be fun. So it's like a community where people join in there, they interact, there are weekly calls and little trainings on marketing psychology. When you've done something for so long and the universe is telling you, Johnny, maybe it's time for something that can have a
Yes.
greater impact. I'm excited at the impact that something like that can have. So yeah, I will let everybody know when it's up and running.
I love it. Oh, and so I know you have this too. You have a newsletter as well on LinkedIn, or you have people can subscribe.
I do. The goal there is to make my free stuff better than a lot of paying products. So if you guys don't want to spend maybe $50, $100 on courses on specific skills, maybe my newsletter can save you a lot of time and money in regards to that. And I do it on purpose because I feel like, like if you can experience the level of information beforehand, you can understand it first, you can do it, number one. You can get results just with that information. And yeah, I do it once a week. I left it for some time because I just don't want to email people if I don't have something good to share because I value people's time. That's if you're going to take something away from this is value people's time with your content. It's probably one of the best hacks that has served me very well is I value people's time when I create something. So I don't want to add things that are not necessary. I don't want to add things that have no substance. right? So I want to make everything so good that every single word is the value that people can get from every 10 seconds that they consume their content. And you're thinking every 10 seconds, are they getting something out of it, whether it's written or a video?
Mhm.
That's a long answer to simple questions, but there you have it.
No, but that answers that question of should you be posting just to post or should you post because
Yeah,
you have something really good to say? You're like, I want others to see this because it
yeah.
has a lot of value, or it
Mm,
teaches you something, or it provides humor or a lesson. So yeah, good
exactly.
stuff. All right, well, let's check the comments before we go. Last one. Okay, let's throw this up there about the algorithm. Most people who complain about the algorithm are either producing poor content and or not engaging with the people who comment. Social media may take time and hard work. If you're not committed, you're better off staying away. Yeah, I don't complain about it. I'm like, you know what? And Royce, this is good because Royce talks about the power of one, right? If one person's seeing your content, let's say one person saw your content, but they were like, I love your content, and then they took action on that. Was it
Yeah.
worth it? It's worth it. So he says, this has been one of the best episodes. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you to Xhoni. Remember I said you are my last guest before the summer because I will not be bringing the show back until the fall. And that's just kind of a thing. My kids are home and I'm like, I kind of want to enjoy my summer break and not have to worry about all the stuff. But I just want to say thanks for being the very last guest this season, Xhoni, all the way from Italy.
Couldn't say no. When you said like, Johnny, would you come in? I'm like, you're a teacher, of course it's a
Of
yes.
course. Hey, that's part of branding, right? When you say, hey, can you? You're like, yep.
I will make it happen. I don't care.
Yes, I know. I know. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for being
Thank
here.
you.
You throw up Yolanda's comment to value people's time. That's the best advice. Yes, value people's time. Don't put out crap content. Put out good
Please.
content. Yes, please, please. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back after the summer. And of course, you can connect with Xhoni on LinkedIn, ask him any questions, download this replay. And if you want to get into his community, I'm sure he'll tell you how you can do that. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tisha Talks Live.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.
Happy weekend.